There's a silent destroyer in your pantry. It's colorful, it's convenient, and for years, you were told it was part of a balanced breakfast. But what if I told you that one common cereal, marketed to seniors as heart-healthy and fiber-rich, is actually damaging your brain's nerve health every morning you eat it? As a brain doctor, I've seen it too often. Patients losing focus, memory slipping, nerve function declining, and they had no idea this food was part of the cause. You deserve the truth. Let's break it down. Imagine this. You're in your kitchen. Early morning sunlight spilling through the blinds. You reach for the familiar box of cereal sitting neatly in the cupboard. The same one you've trusted for years. The label says whole grain. There's a heart on the front. Maybe even the word smart in the branding. You pour it into a bowl, add a splash of milk, and feel good, responsible, healthy. After all, that's what the commercial said, right? That this cereal helps your heart, keeps you regular, fuels your brain. It's how you've started your day for decades. But here's the quiet truth. That bowl might be slowly eroding your nerve health. Not overnight, not with a single spoonful, but gradually, insidiously, the same way rust spreads beneath paint or mold creeps beneath floorboards. The ingredients inside that trusted box may be weakening the very system you depend on to think clearly, walk steadily, remember birthdays, and live independently. As a brain specialist, I've seen it firsthand. Seniors in their 60s, 70s, and beyond come into my clinic not because they feel sick, but because something just feels off. They're forgetting more names. They're fumbling for words. They're waking up with tingling in their hands or a strange heaviness in their legs. Some call it just getting older. Others chalk it up to stress or poor sleep. But here's the deeper issue. Your nervous system is being fed every single day. And in many cases, it's being fed the wrong fuel. Let's start with the basics. Your nervous system is the electrical network of your body. It controls everything from your memory and speech to your balance and heartbeat. Nerves are like wires that send rapid-fire signals through the body. And those wires are coated in something called myelin, a protective sheath that helps messages travel smoothly and quickly. As we age, that myelin naturally thins. The body also becomes less efficient at repairing nerve tissue, producing antioxidants, and managing inflammation. So what you eat becomes even more critical. And yet, many seniors unknowingly sabotage this delicate system, not with fast food or candy, but with so-called healthy cereals. Why? Because the food industry is brilliant at marketing comfort as nutrition. Cereal, especially the kind targeted toward older adults, often carries terms like fiber-rich, vitamin-fortified, whole grain, or low cholesterol. But hidden behind those feel-good labels are a combination of preservatives, synthetic additives, refined sugars, and nutrient isolates that do far more harm than good to the aging brain. Let's talk numbers. Over 50 million Americans eat cold breakfast cereal daily, with seniors making up one of the largest demographics. According to the CDC, nearly 1 in 3 people over 65 experience some form of peripheral neuropathy, a condition where nerves become damaged and misfire, leading to numbness, pain, or weakness. And recent research published in the Journal of Nutrition, Health and Aging showed that higher intake of processed grains and synthetic B vitamins was linked to faster cognitive decline in adults over 60. Why is this happening? Because the standard cereal formula is built for shelf life, not brain life. Let's break down what's typically inside these boxes. BHT, butylated hydroxytoluene, a chemical preservative banned in parts of Europe but still allowed in U.S. cereals. Some animal studies link BHT to cellular stress in the brain and nervous system. Synthetic B vitamins, like folic acid or cyanocobalamin, which don't metabolize properly in many older adults due to common gene variants, like MTHFR, and can accumulate, potentially causing nerve imbalances. High glycemic sugars and glucose syrups, which spike insulin, contribute to chronic inflammation, and over time, lead to insulin resistance in the brain, sometimes called type 3 diabetes by Alzheimer's researchers. Refined, extruded grains that have been stripped of their natural fiber and antioxidants, then re-sprayed with synthetic nutrients. And here's the dangerous twist. Because these cereals are often labeled as healthy. They're consumed regularly, sometimes daily, under the assumption they're protecting the body, when they're actually contributing to slow, dietary-induced neural wear and tear. Now, why does this matter now more than ever? Because we're facing a crisis of cognitive health among aging adults. Dementia rates are rising, neuropathy diagnoses are increasing, and more seniors are losing independence not from acute illness, but from gradual nerve degradation that could have been slowed or even prevented through smarter dietary choices. This isn't about shame, it's about knowledge. You weren't given the full story. Your doctor may have never had the time to walk you through what certain preservatives or sugar sources do to nerve conductivity. Grocery store shelves are loud with health claims and quiet with consequences. And no one hands you a guidebook on how nutrition shifts as your nervous system ages. But that's what this video is for. Because if you've ever struggled with focus, felt pins and needles in your feet, lost your balance unexpectedly, or noticed your memory slipping, this might not be just aging. It might be inflammation, mitochondrial strain, or oxidative stress in your neurons, all of which are worsened by what's in your morning bowl. The goal here isn't to scare you, it's to empower you. You don't need to throw away every box in your kitchen tonight, but you do deserve to know what's in them. You deserve to understand how ingredients interact with your nervous system, and you deserve practical, science-backed guidance to protect the system that keeps you alert, mobile, and independent. Because at the end of the day, breakfast isn't just a meal, it's a message to your brain, and your body listens carefully. Let's explore what's inside that cereal and what it's been doing to your nerves quietly. Every morning, how your morning cereal is quietly damaging nerve health, and why no one warned you. Mini Section 1. Root causes. What's really inside the cereal? Let's start where most people don't look. The label. That box you trust each morning is often a Trojan horse. It's wrapped in health claims, fortified, low cholesterol, whole grain, but what's inside is more chemistry set than kitchen pantry. The core problem isn't just sugar, though sugar plays a massive role. It's the combination of synthetic vitamins your body can't use effectively, preservatives, and stabilizers that disrupt your gut-brain axis, refined, high glycemic grains that burn through your system fast, and the worst offender, BHT, butylated hydroxytoluene, a chemical antioxidant that some studies link to neurotoxicity in animals. Analogy: think of your nerves like copper wires, wrapped in a protective rubber coating. That coating is your myelin sheath. This sheath ensures the electrical messages from your brain travel quickly and correctly through your body. Now imagine every day, a little acid from your breakfast bowl is melting that protective layer, slowly, invisibly. No sparks at first, just slower signals, more static. One day, the message gets lost entirely. That's what happens when your diet supports inflammation, oxidative stress, and mitochondrial dysfunction. And most cereals, even those with hearts on the box, create the perfect storm for all three. The worst part, most seniors aren't just eating this cereal once a week. Many eat it daily, believing it's doing them good. That's chronic exposure. And when the body's detox system slows with age, small doses accumulate into long-term harm. Mini Section 2. Silent symptoms. What you miss until it's too late. Nerve damage doesn't announce itself with a bang. It whispers. It hides behind everyday annoyances. And most doctors write it off as aging. But if you know what to look for, the signs are clear. Common but ignored symptoms: tingling or numbness in your hands, feet, or lips, difficulty focusing, especially in the morning, occasional confusion or forgetting words mid-sentence, feeling unsteady even when standing still, increased anxiety or irritability without reason, cold hands or feet despite warm temperatures, muscle twitches, or facial tingling. Most people don't connect these symptoms to food, especially not to their trusted breakfast. But every one of these is linked to nerve signaling failure or neuronal inflammation. Long-term consequences: peripheral neuropathy, damage to nerves outside the brain spine, leading to burning pain, numbness, and muscle weakness. Cognitive decline: poor nerve nutrition affects memory formation and recall. Balance problems: slower nerve signals gives delayed reaction time, gives increased fall risk emotional dysregulation. When the brain's neurotransmitter production is disrupted by dietary toxins, here's what your doctor may not have time to tell you many of. These conditions don't need to progress if the dietary triggers are identified and removed early. Mini Section 3. Common mistakes. How people accidentally make it worse. Mistake 1. Trusting the front of the box instead of the back. Cereal marketing is brilliant. The front of the box is like a dating profile. All charm, no truth. The real story is on the ingredients list, which is often printed in tiny, unreadable text. Fortified with B vitamins sounds healthy, but synthetic folic acid, especially when not converted due to a common MTHFR gene variant in seniors, accumulates and may block natural folate absorption. Low fat is advertised, but the lack of healthy fat starves your myelin, which is 60 to 70% fat by structure. High fiber, but from insoluble, processed wheat bran, which often irritates the gut rather than supporting it. Mistake 2. Pairing the wrong milk. Many seniors use fat-free or low-fat milk, again trusting old nutrition advice. But nerves thrive on healthy fat, especially omega-3 south and cholesterol, which stabilize neuronal membranes. Cereal and skim milk. That's a double nutritional deficit for your nervous system. Some even pair it with almond or rice milk, many of which contain added gums, sugars, and emulsifiers, all linked to gut inflammation, which connects directly to brain health via the vagus nerve. Mistake 3. Eating it daily because it's easy. Routine is powerful, but not always helpful. When the same harmful inputs go in day after day, the effects are compounded, especially for seniors with slowed liver detox, reduced kidney function, or less diverse gut bacteria. Harmful cereal compounds stay in the body longer, causing more damage over time. And here's the kicker. Many people double down when symptoms arise. They feel foggy and fatigued, so they think, I need more B vitamins and eat more fortified cereal, not realizing that the synthetic forms are part of the problem. Mini Section 4. What doctors don't always explain. Most primary care doctors have 15 minutes per appointment, barely enough time to review labs, adjust medications, and address urgent concerns. Detailed nutrition counseling often left out. And when they do discuss food, it's usually broad. Eat more fiber. Choose whole grains. But here's what's missing. Not all fiber is created equal. Processed wheat bran versus flaxseed or chia is like cardboard versus nature. Whole grain is a legal definition, not a nutritional guarantee. A cereal can be 51% refined grain and still say whole grain on the label. Fortified B12 is often synthetic cyanocobalamin, which requires strong stomach acid and functioning methylation pathways, both of which decline with age. And BHT, the preservative used to extend shelf life, is still considered generally recognized as safe by the FDA. DESPITE studies suggesting it may disrupt mitochondrial function and trigger brain cell inflammation. Doctors aren't hiding the truth. They often just don't have time, or weren't trained in the food industry's loopholes. That's why seniors need to become their own advocates. Your diet is your daily prescription, and what you're swallowing with that cereal spoon matters just as much as what's in your pill box. Mini Section 5. Visualize the damage and the hope. Let's visualize it together. Your brain. 100 billion neurons, firing in harmony, depending on clean fuel and stable membranes. Your nerves. Millions of electrical wires wrapped in delicate insulation, requiring antioxidants and fatty acids to stay fast and functional. Your breakfast. A spoonful of synthetic sugars, stripped grains, and artificial stabilizers. Morning. After morning. No antioxidants, no real fat, just inflammation in a bowl. Now imagine switching to a nerve-supporting breakfast. Antioxidant-rich berries, real whole oats, sprinkled with chia and walnuts, paired with omega-3 rich flax milk, or pasture-raised eggs. That single change, it's not a trend, it's repair. Coming up next, now that we've exposed the full damage, what should you eat instead? And how fast can the brain begin to recover? Once the insult is removed, we'll reveal the most nerve-friendly breakfast and a surprising nutrient that rebuilds the myelin sheath in just a moment. Mid-roll ad placement suggestion number 1. Place ad here after visualizing the harm, but before offering the solution. This maximizes viewer retention and emotional payoff. The brain-safe breakfast that rebuilds nerves and what to eat instead of that cereal. Not what it is, a brain-rebuilding breakfast. Let's be clear. The goal here isn't just to replace cereal. It's to actively support your myelin sheath, repair nerve tissue, and reduce neuroinflammation. The solution, a combination of foods that nourish the nervous system in 4 key ways. 1. Healthy fats, to rebuild the myelin sheath and cellular membranes. 2. Antioxidants, to protect neurons from oxidative stress. 3. Natural B vitamins, in bioavailable forms that your body can actually absorb. 4. Low glycemic energy, to avoid insulin spikes that fuel inflammation. The ideal nerve health breakfast formula. 1/2 cup cooked steel-cut oats, slow-release carbs, no extrusion damage. 1 tablespoon ground flaxseed rich in ALA omega-3 South. Supports brain membranes. 1/4 cup blueberries high in anthocyanins, linked to cognitive longevity. A few crushed walnuts, brain-shaped for a reason. Rich in DHA precursors. Dash of cinnamon helps stabilize blood sugar and reduce inflammation. Unsweetened almond, flax, or goat milk. Avoid emulsifiers. Pick clean brands. Optional. Upgrade. Add 1 soft-boiled pasture-raised egg, rich in choline, a critical nutrient for memory and myelin production. How it works. The science behind the repair. Let's look how these ingredients reverse the damage caused by synthetic, sugar-laden cereals. Healthy fats rebuild the brain. Your myelin sheath is over 60% fat, particular made of cholesterol and phospholipids. Diets too low in healthy fat or filled with synthetic trans fats deprive the body of the raw materials it needs to repair. Flaxseed and walnuts provide plant-based omega-3 South, while eggs supply choline, a key compound in forming acetylcholine, your primary memory neurotransmitter. Study highlight. A 2020 study in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience found that older adults with higher choline intake had significantly better verbal memory, performance, and reduced white matter hyperintensities, markers of neurodegeneration. Antioxidants neutralize damage. Oxidative stress is one of the leading causes of neuron aging. The anthocyanins in blueberries and the polyphenols in cinnamon have been shown to reduce oxidative burden in the hippocampus, the area of the brain responsible for learning and memory. Study highlight. Harvard researchers found that adults who consumed berries regularly had slower rates of cognitive decline, with blueberry consumers performing 2.5 years younger on memory tests. Stabilizing blood sugar reduces nerve inflammation. Spiking blood sugar, which processed cereals cause, leads to insulin surges, chronic inflammation, and glycation, where sugar sticks to proteins and damages tissues. This is particularly harmful to small nerve fibers in the hands, feet, and eyes. Steel-cut oats release glucose slowly, preventing these spikes, while cinnamon helps your body use insulin more efficiently. Real B vitamins, no fortification needed instead of synthetic. Folic acid or B12. This meal relies on food-based nutrients your body understands and absorbs easily. Eggs contain natural B12, flax provides B6, and oats deliver niacin and folate in natural form without straining your detox systems. When and how to use it. Timing plus frequency. The ideal time for this meal is in the morning, within an hour of waking up. Why? Because your brain is just emerging from an overnight fast. It's low on fuel, low on antioxidants, and highly sensitive to what you feed it first. Cereal spikes your blood sugar and crashes it by 10 a.m., leaving you foggy. This breakfast gives your brain clean, steady energy, neuroprotective antioxidants, building blocks for memory and mood. How often? Ideally, 5 to 6 days per week. You don't need perfection, just consistency. Even 3 to 4 times a week can begin to shift your neural biochemistry toward healing. Dos and don'ts. To maximize results. Do use organic berries when possible to avoid pesticide residues. Grind flaxseed fresh. Whole seeds pass through undigested. Choose clean. Unsweetened nut milks. Look for ones with no gums or added sugar. Add a pinch of sea salt to oats. If you need a flavor lift, not refined table salt. Don't add brown sugar or honey. It defeats the low glycemic benefit. Use instant oats. These are heavily processed and digest quickly. Mix with flavored yogurts, often high in sugar and artificial flavors. Assume store-bought healthy cereal alternatives are safe. Many are still extruded grains with synthetic additives. Optional alternatives and upgrades. If oatmeal isn't your favorite, here are nerve-safe swaps that also deliver healing benefits. Egg-based option to pasture-raised eggs, soft-boiled or poached. 1/2 avocado on sprouted grain or almond flour toast. Side of sautéed spinach in olive oil. This option gives you choline, healthy fat, and polyphenols. Excellent for brain repair. Chia pudding option. 3 tablespoons chia seeds soaked in unsweetened almond milk overnight. Topped with berries, cinnamon, and walnuts. Chia is high in ALA, and its gel-like consistency soothes the gut lining, which supports the gut-brain axis. Myth to avoid, but it says fortified, so it must be good. One of the biggest misconceptions in senior nutrition is that fortified equals healthy. But here's the truth. Fortified doesn't mean functional. It just means nutrients were added back in after being stripped out, and those nutrients are often synthetic, harder to absorb, and processed by your already slowing detox systems. Your brain doesn't want vitamins from a lab. It wants them from food, in the forms it evolved to use. Summary: the shift that changes everything. Let's recap the nerve-healing breakfast blueprint. Steel-cut oats equals steady fuel. Flax plus walnuts equals healthy fats. From island blueberries equals powerful antioxidants. Eggs equals choline. And natural B12. Cinnamon equals blood sugar support. No synthetic vitamins. No BHT, no sugar spike, no crash. You're not just feeding your stomach anymore. You're feeding the most powerful, sensitive, and underprotected system in your body, your nervous system. This isn't a trendy diet. It's a return to real food, and in just a few weeks, many people report sharper focus, more stable mood, fewer pins and needles, reduced brain fog, and even better sleep, because when your brain feels safe, it sleeps better. When your nerves are nourished, they stop sounding the alarm. Mid-roll ad placement. Suggestion number 2. Place the second mid-roll ad right before the impact section. Just as we transition into what happens when you apply this daily, what happens when you stop feeding the fire and start nourishing your nerves? The moment you stop putting harmful ingredients into your body, your nervous system starts breathing easier. And when you go one step further, when you begin feeding it what it's truly hungry for, something beautiful happens. Not overnight, not in some dramatic cinematic scene, but gradually, consistently, like fog lifting from a coastline. At sunrise, week by week, what you might notice: week 1, calm in the mornings. The first shift isn't even neurological, it's hormonal. Without the blood sugar spike from processed cereal, your mornings become steadier. No more crashing at 10 a.m., no sudden irritability, no coffee-fueled panic. You might feel more grounded, hungrier later, not sooner. That's a sign your insulin is stabilizing, which directly supports nerve repair. Week 2 to 3, mental clarity returns. Neurons love consistency. When you feed them stable fuel, reduce synthetic overload, and introduce real B vitamins and antioxidants, you may notice the haze lifting. Words come faster. Names aren't as far away. You walk into a room and remember why. You don't second-guess your memory as often. Sleep improves too, not because of melatonin, but because your nervous system feels safe, and a safe brain sleeps better. Week 4 to 6, body speaks more clearly. That tingling in your hands, the buzzing in your feet, it might begin to soften, not disappear entirely. Nerves heal slowly, but the sensation might become less intrusive, less frequent. You feel steadier when you walk, more confident rising from a chair. Your reflexes feel slightly sharper. That's the myelin, starting, however subtly, to rebuild. And you might notice other unexpected bonuses: improved digestion thanks to real fiber, and omega-3 south, smoother skin tone thanks to antioxidant intake, and fewer headaches or mood swings as blood sugar swings vanish. What the research shows, we're not just working off observation. This transformation is supported by science. A study in neurobiology of aging showed that adults who supplemented their diets with omega-3 south and polyphenols experienced improved nerve conduction velocity, meaning faster signals between brain and body. Research from Tufts University found that older adults consuming flavonoid-rich fruits, like blueberries, saw measurable improvements in memory and executive function within 90 days. And a clinical trial in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that when seniors eliminated high glycemic breakfast foods, their insulin sensitivity improved significantly, reducing risk factors for cognitive decline. What does this mean practically? It means your body is not broken. It means your age is not a sentence. It means your brain is listening to what you feed it, and it responds with clarity, coordination, and calm. The long-term payoff, more than just memory. Let's zoom out. This isn't just about preventing disease. It's about extending quality of life, not just how long you live, but how well. When nerve health is protected, you walk confidently, reducing your fall risk and preserving independence. You engage socially, remembering names, sharing stories, participating in life. You retain control over your body, your mind, your dignity. You reduce dependency on medications, on caregivers, on constant worry. These are not small victories. These are the moments that define aging with grace. And when those moments are built on small, quiet choices, like what you put in your breakfast bowl, it's empowering. You realize you're not at the mercy of decline. You're participating in renewal. This isn't a diet, it's a decision. Every spoonful is a message. That cereal you used to eat, it told your nerves they weren't safe, that your brain had to adapt to stress, to synthetic overload, to inflammation. But now, each bite of blueberries, each sprinkle of flax, each sip of clean fat and fiber tells a new story. It says you're supported. It says you're repairing. It says you're still in charge. Because the truth is, your health isn't just a product of your past. It's a reflection of your patterns. And when you change those patterns, your brain doesn't just notice, it thanks you. Not with words, but with function, with steadiness, with sharper mornings and safer steps. Final thought: if you've ever felt the fear of fading, of losing your edge, your clarity, your sense of self, know this: you can reclaim it. One breakfast at a time, one choice at a time. And it begins the moment you put down the box and pick up your power. As a brain doctor, I'm begging seniors, stop eating this cereal. It destroys nerve health. Your brain has carried you through decades, through memories, milestones, and mornings just like this. It deserves more than silent damage disguised as health. If today's message opened your eyes or reminded you that healing is still possible, comment below with the word clarity, because clarity is where healing begins. And if there's someone in your life, a parent, friend, or neighbor who still trusts the wrong box in the cupboard, please share this video with them. You might just change their life. Thank you for listening and for choosing awareness over a sue.